Welcome to the Big and Small Podcast, coming to you from Plymouth, Massachusetts. Just a couple of guys drinking some beers, having some chow, and talking all things sports.
Welcome to Gillis Family Tavern. We're on episode 49, Dougie? Yes. 49. Here comes the waitress. What's your name?
Say hi.
Jane.
Jane, how do you know?
I don't even want to be on it.
That's
You didn't come to the right person.
Could I please have another one?
That's right.
We're going to have a test at the end.
Another test.
You want the water? Are you good?
No, I'm good for now. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, thanks.
Sorry, Jane.
All right.
Okay, now you're going to say my name every time.
Jane's my mother's name. I'm actually not kidding. It's my mother's name.
It's my mother's name.
Sit down.
Can't forget that.
Yeah, right.
Episode 49, as you can tell, we have an additional person in the middle. Mr. Nick Coit from ABC. What is it now?
Still going.
ABC in Providence. What is the call outs?
It is WLNE. So actually stands for Lower New England. Yeah,
Wow.
right? Isn't that kind of funny? I know. Yeah,
So we're blessed with his presence.
Yep.
He's gonna.
Well, he's also. I mean, let's
Knowledge.
get. He's also a Plymouth native.
Plymouth native.
Grew up with Dougie. They played ball together. He played high school ball for Coach Follett in the day with
Way back.
the guy. We're not sure where he is. If he's MIA in Vietnam or something, but they play with a kid named Jordan Wiley. I don't know.
I'm going to send that to
The disappearing man.
If anybody sees him, let us know.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's fired up to have you.
Yeah.
His mother's in real estate as well. Look, he's hyping me up, right? He's hyping me up right here. But his mother's Furman. Great agent, great person. She's actually recruited me to come work there. We're going to
Good.
see what
Yeah,
happens.
love it.
And work with the lovely April and go from there. We'll see. But great to have you, buddy.
Thanks,
Always
Rick.
a pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure to be with you guys. Glad to be here. Glad to be back at home too. I love when I pass the exit now. It's the best. I look forward to coming home. This town's the best.
So you're
It
a
is.
first professional in the sports
That's great.
industry that we've had on
That's great.
the podcast.
Yeah.
So that's good.
How you doing over there, producer guy?
Doing all right.
Yeah,
We're
good.
doing all right. We got some new equipment. We're working out some bugs, but everything is all right. Just don't touch anything.
So if you
Ship will drive itself.
I was just hoping he could too. Before we get into our typical, if you can, just give us sort of your little, your gig.
Sure.
You know what you're doing. Keep
Yeah.
it,
So I am my day job, my primary job is I am the sports director, so weeknight sports anchor and reporter at Channel 6 in Providence. So I'm on typically on your news 6 and 11 o'clock every night, bringing you the day's sports, and we cover obviously pro sports, which everybody in New England covers, college sports, huge college basketball state down there, high school sports, and then semi-professional sports where you got a new soccer team in town. The Providence Bruins are obviously down there, right around the corner from the station too. So that's my primary job, and then I have a weekend radio show, 7 to 9 a.m. Saturday mornings on the 103.7 dial, WEEI down there with my partner Scott Codici. And then I am a teacher at URI. I teach sports broadcasting in the Harrington School, which we were bonding over, which was great.
I didn't know that.
Yep, so I teach there. And then I also do some broadcasting for Brown University. So I'm the sideline guy for football and basketball games on ESPN+. So
awesome.
a lot of different things.
Yeah, Coach Nolan would love that. The Nolan's the big Providence.
I see him down at the PC
Right?
games. It was great. A couple of years ago, all the Nolan boys got on a plane, went to Chicago for the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
And I was actually doing one of my live hits on the news, and I turn around, and we actually had the Jordan statue on our backdrop, and I look over and I look at these guys.
Not Jordan Wiley.
Not Jordan Wiley. No,
Not
Michael Jordan. Yeah, an actual athlete.
Oh, I thought maybe that's what Jordan was.
No, maybe, yeah. The theory was that he was named after him, but I'm not sure that's true. But I turn around and I see the Nolan boys taking a picture in front of the Michael Jordan statue. So I turn around and say hello. I'm like, you need somebody to take the picture for you, whatever.
that's
So, but it was cool, special for them because I know Providence College means a lot to them. So.
Yeah, and then you do a lot of you also go like the Patriots, go to
Yep.
the presses and stuff with them.
Yeah, so football season, obviously the Patriots are huge around here. Everybody talks about them. We've been talking about the number 3 pick in the draft for 3 months. It's unbelievable just how popular they are. And
We'll get into that.
So I've been covering the Patriots for about 10 years, covered 4 Super Bowls, 3 victories. Covered Brady, covered Belichick, new era coming, now with Gerard Mayo. So really interesting, but probably down there in the fall, maybe 2 to 3 times a week, covering them. So
Awesome.
yeah, it's a lot, but it's cool. It's really cool.
And then how did you, what got you into it? Like, what did you decide you want to be a communication major or?
Yeah, I did. So went to Emerson College and I got my degree in broadcast journalism. And really, I credit my teachers and my coaches here in Plymouth for sort of helping me recognize that my talents were, in communication and broadcasting. Because as much as I loved growing up playing baseball, with you guys, I wasn't very good. I was probably the worst player in America. But Coach gave me a uniform because Coach loved
You're
me.
better than your father's at all.
Well, hey, easy now. Easy now.
Only kidding. His
Talking
father's
like
one of the
that, yeah.
great guys. I just had a bust of chops.
Oh man, but yeah, I mean,
does Dennis do high school ball?
yeah, he does.
I've had him. He did a lot.
Oh, yeah.
When I'd come down here and do the scrimmages with
Yeah.
the guys, if you remember, when I bring BB&N down, your
Okay.
dad would do the games
Yeah,
for us.
he's and he loves it. He
Great guy.
keeps him
See him all
around.
the
Keeps him
time.
around the game, which is awesome. He
Yeah.
grew up coaching us, and I like to say my dad and Coach Follett were the 2 biggest influences as coaches that I ever had, and both of them encouraged me to go after this passion because I remember in high school I always tell this story. We had, you remember Students Fostering Hope, Doug, when we were in high school, a little organization that we were like raise money for local
Sounds
charity,
familiar.
something like that. So the first time I recognized that maybe I should get into sports broadcasting, this was our junior year of high school, so about 2004. We had a dodgeball tournament at the Old North High School because Dodgeball, the movie with Vince Vaughn, was popular at the time. And so we put together,
Unbelievable.
3-on-3
That's a great
teams,
movie,
whatever.
by the way.
It was great. and when they were, all of our friends were organizing it, they're like, well, if we're going to do it, we got to have the guys from ESPN 8, The Ocho. And I was huge into drama club at that point. And they're like, we need you. And a kid named Sam Peck did it with me. And so they gave us a microphone. And we would interview the guys after their matches, whatever. And our friend Bobby Fleming growing up, one of their team's name was Bubba Can't Read. And so I actually brought something out there and interviewed him. And I said, can you read this? Hey, folks, Bubba can't read, whatever. And it was the whole thing. And, the next day, I kid you not, there were 3 separate teachers that came up to me during the school day and told me, like, hey, I know you were kind of playing around with that, but, like, you were really, really good at that. Like, you should look into doing that. And it was like, okay, how do I take my passion for sports and communication, performance, whatever, and put them together? And sports broadcasting is what I landed.
Wow.
So,
Then what was like your first break?
working at Boston 25.
Oh, really?
So my senior year at
Sorry,
Emerson,
Sorry, go ahead.
that was my senior year at Emerson. Had an internship the spring semester, and this was 2011. So right around the time I was graduating, they said, "Hey, we like your work. We need a producer." They were sort of short-staffed, and little did we know, the next month the Bruins were going to hoist the cup. So thankfully, I was thankful to be brought in. Thankfully, they brought me in because they needed the help. They needed the extra hands. So I was a producer for 9 months behind the scenes at 25. That was my big break.
So is that a natural road for producer to on-air talent?
It can be. I think for me, it was, some kids will come out of college and they'll try to go on the air somewhere. For me, it was great because I had great mentors. And we were talking a little bit about this before we came on here, too, about some of the great people that, you see in television. And like, I had a lot of great mentors. A guy named Adam Pellerin, who's at Nesson now, was at 25 at the time. He used to take me under his wing. I would write a sportscast, and he'd say, okay, here's your script. Here's what you should probably improve on. Here's what you did well, blah, 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 blah. Mark Ackerblom, who's their weeknight news anchor, he was a great mentor for me, too. So I was lucky because I learned all the other stuff that goes into it before I took my first on-air job, which was up in Bangor, Maine. So it was very helpful.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Emerson's a very good school for that.
Great
isn't it?
school.
Yeah.
The best.
Because always Syracuse gets a lot of, I know that's a fit, but Emerson's
does.
for a local school, it's probably one of the better communication schools in the area.
I went to Emerson. My partner at Channel 6, Ian Steele, who's my guy, a Marshfield native. He went to Emerson as well. He was 3 years behind me.
I didn't know he was a Marshfield guy.
He's a Marshfield guy. Yep, played football for Lou Silva. Yep, so he
Yeah.
talks about that a lot. So yeah, we both went to Emerson. A lot of people in the business. It's great because it's, you get the great teachers, but it's also right in the heart of downtown Boston. So it's like
Great spot.
you kind of have the city at your disposal, which is
Yeah,
great.
it was fun going to visit him.
We had a good time. I'll never forget. Doug came and visited me, and his dad was working at the the reserve at the time, obviously.
Yeah, the Fed.
And we went and had lunch at the Federal Reserve. It's the greatest cafeteria I've ever seen in my life. I mean, unbelievable. We saw the mozzarella sticks here before that. These might have been the best mozzarella sticks I've ever seen. The Federal Reserve in Boston. I can't give it a suggestion because we got in through security and we had it in. We knew a guy, but
And
still remember that.
I think Nick really downplays kind of everything. I think it started in high school too. So you graduated like 7th in our class. He
I
was
did well
the
at
drum
him.
major of the band. He started like every high school play that there was, and he played baseball. Kid just did it all.
Well, that prepared me. And honestly, that
Well, in the backyard at my house.
in the back, yeah, right.
I mean,
Well,
that
that's it right there. That's it right there.
definitely
That's right. Yeah. It started right there. No, I was very fortunate, really, and I mean this. I was very fortunate to grow up in this town because this town has so many great people. It's a great community, and again, I had a lot of great mentors along the way. I did.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Great story. Well, it's great to have you at Gillis's Family Tavern.
Yes.
Jimmy said he wanted to come down and say hi, but he couldn't. He's in Aruba.
Oh,
It's another tough stint for him in
yeah.
Aruba.
That sucks.
But Jimmy, thanks for having us and everything. We'll be sending you guys the bill. But outside of that, we're going to get into, I think, right, Coach, our regular sports,
Let's
Doug?
get into it, thing, 'cause
And then we
have
get
an
Coit's
expert on the
insight.
panel here,
Yeah.
so he can let us know that we're full of crap.
Yeah.
No, you know what? The best part about talking about sports is everybody's got an opinion and everybody's passionate about it. It's a great thing, and that's why I love my job because we get to talk about it a little bit, and it's not like covering the White House. We're talking about sports. It's
Yeah.
great. We all enjoy it. So
And that's why we started this whole thing. Is
gives you a voice.
just sitting around talking about it.
Yeah.
We should go on the air.
Why not?
We did it.
Yeah, here you are.
Yeah, we got
Just
sweatshirt. We got sweatshirts.
That's it. That's it.
I know. The branding in here, it's great.
Yeah.
Let's start socks
Okay.
because I think it'll be the quickest one.
Perplexing is what it is, but yeah.
Coach at the beginning of the season, Coach tried to, which isn't like him, tried to bring a little bit more positivity to it. Said, "Oh, I think they're going to be better."
It's not like we established I am the glass half full guy. Ricky's the head glass half empty. We established that.
So they stick.
Oh boy.
I'm the realist.
So they stick.
Yeah, they haven't been very good defensively, have they?
No.
Yeah.
No, I got a question though. And
Yeah.
anyone can answer this. Ricky being a local, resident baseball expert, but at the pro level, if you're not playing good defense, is that coaching? Is that reps? Is it talent? Like, what is it?
Ricky, you.
Well, I think I've been saying this for years, and there's good defensive teams, bad defensive teams, but I think in general, the fundamentals of baseball at the professional level are horrible, and they have been for a
So
while.
where does it break down?
Guys can't punt.
But where does it break down?
I think it's
College?
I think it's a country club atmosphere. I mean, you're there, but
It is.
Yeah.
but I think they're all multimillionaires. The coach is there. It's like you roll it out. It's a routine, and there's not enough time spent. It's like go out, take some comebackers.
Yeah.
Do your pitching, do that. They probably do that in spring training for a day. But how much time do you think guys want to work on bunt defense?
No.
How much time do you think guys
I mean,
want to
it's-
work on relays?
It's the same
That's
thing,
what
like I said. You watch the College World Series. You're in the final game of the College World Series. If it's a bunt situation, the number 4 batter will lay down a bunt.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen at the pro level.
No.
So why is there such a disconnect from the fundamentals? And I understand because money's involved, but it shouldn't be like that.
Well, I think what's really troubling about this team so far, and Rick, you were just talking about like sort of the specialized things like bunt defense and situational things. I think it's the obvious things that they're messing up all the time. They lose that game in Seattle in the extra inning because Willie Abreu just doesn't stop the ball that's rolling in the outfield.
Yeah.
Like that's not situational. That's just bad.
What
That's
about the
just
other
not
night? What
sound.
about the other night when that guy Hamilton
Doesn't touch the
completely
bag.
misses the
And they
bag?
made the bags bigger 2 years
He
ago.
missed
Yeah,
the-
you shouldn't miss
Like the
it.
size of a pizza
With either
box.
foot. Like
I
it's
don't understand.
yeah.
Like,
That's
do
that,
you think Cora? Do you
that
think
stuff is.
Like, do you think Cora's sitting there just like, I didn't think we had to go over this in practice, but apparently we have to go
I
over
would
this in
think so.
practice.
I would think so. Because like the situational thing, I think Ricky's totally dead on. Like how many guys want to work on that every day? Because they want to. There's 162 of these
Yeah.
things. Like they just want to
Go get their
get
reps.
through it, whatever. But like the basic stuff is just like they're out of sync sometimes, or had just like there was a ball the other day. I can't remember who was playing second base. I think it was Valdez, who just threw one in the dirt going to first base, and it's like, if it's gonna be that bad, just eat it, man.
Yeah,
like
yeah. The dive play.
Oh,
Was it the little dive? It was a nice stop, and then I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Just
He looked
chill
like he had a
out, like,
seizure when he went to go throw it.
It's just bad. Yeah, that's the troubling thing for me, guys. Is that like that the basic stuff that shouldn't be taught at the major league level.
No.
The situational stuff,
And it's
I think
also
is
weird
so bad.
chemistry of guys like in pro
Yeah.
baseball too, because you've got the mix,
Yeah,
which is a great thing.
yeah,
You know, you've got kids who played college ball and grew up in typically played a good college program.
yeah,
It's fundamentally a good game.
yeah.
Then you have a lot of guys never even only went right to the minor leagues.
Yeah.
And it's a survival of the fittest thing down there.
Totally.
Those guys just say, get your reps, who can hit. There's not minor league coaches on a daily basis doing the same thing. You're developing individuals. You're not developing teams.
Yeah.
And it's a big difference. It's a big difference in approach.
Right.
And it's like whoever ends up being the best is the best. You know, same thing with
Plus,
pitching.
in
You know,
college-
pitching now, they get the whole tax stuff and all that. Is out of the game. And you got these guys trying to throw. They had a guy come in the game the other day, five pitches.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean you have 5 pitches? Just throw 3 consistently for a strike, and you'll get guys
And you'll
out.
get guys out. Yep.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
But it's a very it's an interesting sport to me now because I love the purity of it, but it's really turning into
Analytics.
the analytics and I can't stand. We've talked about this in the NFL. I think pro sports as a whole right now. If you really go to basic fundamentals, it's really tough to watch.
Yep.
Probably the only one we've said this is probably hockey.
Yeah.
That there's one way to play. You can play the game bad, but you'll know it. But you gotta. It's different. You can see it. But
Yeah.
but anyway. But
Yeah. And the rule changes and things like that in other sports, it throws things out. Like I am so fascinated, and some of the guys have been talking about this in the NFL already, with the rule changes they did at the kickoff and what they're going to do with that. Like that just totally transforms how the game's played.
Yeah.
And on that particular phase of the game, like it's so. And some guys are just like, every year there's a new tackle rule. You can't tackle a guy here. The hip drop is the big
no
thing
hip
right
drop.
now. We had Jabril Peppers. We talked to him the other day. He was totally outspoken on social media, and he was like, "Look, I feel the way I feel. Like, how are we supposed to play defense in this game? It's
100%.
so,
Well,
it's
and he's
so
right.
7-on-7.
Totally.
It's
yeah. So it's
and it's tough on the officials.
totally.
And we bash the officials all the time, but it's like
So
you get guys all the time. It's all different things. It's like ticky tack. Then it's an emphasis, right? They got to emphasize, and then you get pissed, and then all of a sudden it's a non-emphasis point because they go back. But I will say that kickoff rule, I love it.
I actually am a fan of it.
I watched the
I think
UFL
it's-
game the other day.
Yeah.
Who was it? The Washington team. They came back. No, DC. Yeah, the DC team, Washington. So they came back. It was the end. They were losing. They were losing by 8. They returned the kick because you basically return every kick.
Yeah.
They return it to like the 30. They get back in. They get the 6. They miss the extra point. Then they have the. You can go for it on the onside kick.
Yeah, right.
You can go, which you'd always do. You get the ball 12 yards, one play. If you make the play at 12 yards, you keep the ball.
Wow.
They got it. They get out, kick a field goal, win it. This guy, the Patriots, you picked up. He's got to bang like 62, 64
Yeah,
yards so far.
right. Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, no, it's good. It does need to transform because of the percentages and just guys aren't returning kicks right now, and so I get that part of it. But it's an adjustment because all these leagues have different rules. It's
So
wild.
we went from baseball, Red Sox to rule changes in football. So I don't know, a little off script.
It's okay.
I would just say though, before we
good talk. That's
sum
always
up to
good
your point about the
conversation,
Red Sox thing, just quick.
Yeah.
Sox are now 9-7, which sounds good, right? They've beaten LA. They're 7-8 now. Seattle 6-9, and Oakland. Believe it or not, Oakland 6-9. I didn't think they'd win a game this year.
Yeah. Right.
They
So-
had the lowest over/under in MLB history of only like 54 games.
Interesting.
Then they got
That's
Will,
losing
and then they
like 110 games.
Yeah.
100%. Then they got swept by Baltimore, who's 9-6.
Of Baltimore.
So in general, it's another situation of Major League Baseball is a most of the teams are bad, not
Yeah.
good.
Well, I think the troubling thing with the Red Sox is the ballpark is starting to phase out in terms of the seats. I mean,
Which is-
you're not seeing sellouts like
No.
Which is
Opening
what you
day.
need to happen.
yeah,
Every
it's
day you can get a ticket.
it's going down, and
Never
that's
happened before.
I think if you're going to get ownership's attention in terms of how
You get him in the wallet.
that's and if they're starting to see that, you would hope it wakes them up. But I don't know at this point.
But if you're gonna sell the team, just sell the team. Why have to put the
agree.
fans through the
I
aggravating
agree.
stuff for a whole another season?
I don't know how the ownership looks at this and says, oh, why are fans upset with the team? It's like, oh, I don't know.
Because you have the most expensive ticket in baseball.
You
and your
traded
product
away
on the
a-
field sucks.
A generational player in Mookie Betts. You let a guy like Xander Bogaerts, who was a durable shortstop for you, go. Like, I know, do you want to give a guy an 11-year contract? I don't think you would have had to if you got ahead of it. You know,
And obviously Trevor Story out for the season hurts, but I don't think that's not the make or break of your season.
No.
it shouldn't be. But the defense has been like it's gone in the tank ever since he's gone out. It's terrible. It's terrible roster building.
And even with it, that was a terrible contract. To your point,
Yeah.
I mean, you had your glue guys that had to stay when they were a good organization. They were young.
Yeah.
Mookie, Xander, Devers, don't mess around with it. You even had, go build on that.
Turner go.
Well, Turner's recent, but
Yeah,
those
but
are
you look
generational
Vasquez,
generational
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
You're like, it's. I agree with you. I don't know how much you've listened to the show, but that's
Well,
my
he's a
biggest
baseball
thing.
guy.
I have a
That's his
statement.
bread and butter.
If you buy a ticket to a Boston Red Sox game, you're an idiot.
I like to say now. I like to say anytime I've gone to Fenway the last couple of years, I say I'm going to Fenway Park to hang out with my friends.
That's it.
That's
if,
all
if
it
there
is.
happens to be a baseball game on the field, I might take a peek at
That's
it.
it.
We'll get a couple of tall Trulies
I
from
hear the
Fenway.
tap- I hear the
That's
tap-
it. That's all it is.
That's it.
It's
Yeah.
a place to get
The
together.
ballpark experience,
Yes.
just like ownership wants you to have.
And I get the Mass Baseball Coaches Association pass,
Oh,
so I can get two
yeah,
tickets for $5
Oh.
anytime I want.
yeah.
Which is so then I'll go. Nice day. What the
Yeah.
heck, right?
Or if another
I'll be there
team
for
comes
3
to town,
innings.
that
Yeah.
there's an attraction or a guy that you want to see.
Exactly.
That's what
Exactly.
it is. Yeah.
All right, so let's go to Celtics.
Okay.
Are we at championship or bust or finals or bust?
I think we're a championship or bust, man.
Okay.
I think this should be championship or bust. I mean, look, are you going to get upset if they lose in Game 7 of the finals because Nikola Jokic goes for 45 and 20? Like, you get to Game 7 of the finals, it's pretty good. Last year was disappointing because they lose the first 3 to the Heat and they have to come all the way back in that series. So, come on, it's the 8th seed. You should get to the finals.
I think I'm upset if it's Game 7 of the finals and Jason Tatum's taking the last shot and misses again.
What if it's a good shot? If it's a toss-up 3 from outside the perimeter, yeah, I think everybody's going to be mad and talking about it for months.
Yeah.
But,
Then you get rid of Jason Tatum.
no.
No
my
chance.
God.
Would you get rid of Tatum for Luka straight up?
No.
Well, it's funny. I was listening to yesterday, who I really
Defense.
liked. You probably know him, Sharon and
Oh, Cerrone Battle?
yeah, and
Yeah, I think
who's
he's
the
really
other guy? He's good too, his buddy.
Oh,
They do-
Leroy. Was it
Leroy.
Cerrone and Leroy? They were really good together.
They do a good job.
They're really
and they're good in basketball.
Yeah.
And he brought
Really
the whole
good.
thing up about Luke Doncic. He said, "Yeah, he's a great player, but because it came up, someone was busting Tatum about his defense,
Yeah.
and he brought out, he goes, "Go watch him play defense.
Yes.
Why do you think they never win?"
Wait,
Because-
Luka plays defense?
Yeah,
Does he?
No,
I didn't know that.
that was the whole. It was like he was dead on. He had all these stats. I was like, "Yep,
Yeah.
totally."
Eye test. Yeah, eye test.
I just worry more. It shouldn't just be on Tatum.
I agree.
This is a Missoula issue. If he can't
yeah.
learn to draw up legitimate plays with the depth they have on that lineup to go into end of games and not just dribble a basketball 35 times in one guy and take a turnaround fadeaway 3, that's on the coach.
Yeah.
I don't care.
No,
and
I
that's what they
understand,
got
but
to get
it's
over
also
that
the
up.
same thing we've said it ad nauseum. During the regular season, they don't even need a coach on the sideline. The ship runs itself. It's in the they can't win close games in the end. So what has to happen in order for that to change?
They got to go through it. They got to just do it. I mean, they're going to be put in that situation at some point. They just got to do it, and they got to trust that it's funny. I think about that Hawks game where they lost in overtime, and I thought it was bad, and then it was good because it was bad at the end of regulation when Tatum's dribble, gets the ball, 2 defenders on him, throws up a toss-up 3, and we're all mad. In overtime, they actually drew something up that was pretty good.
Jay.
Hi, Jay. Got James back.
Jay.
Hey.
Wow, great job.
We all have to say it out loud because we're all like, don't forget.
Anything, Nicholas?
I'm good. I'm good for now. Yeah, thank you. No, but then in overtime, they drew up a great play where the ball goes into Porzingis. Looked like he might have been the first option, and he knows, like, okay, if I'm covered, I got to get it to somebody. They get it to Brown. He hits a shot. They just happen to lose that night because they left too much time on the clock, and DeJounte Murray took 44 shots and was red hot that night.
Out of his mind.
Unbelievable. So does that happen in a 7-game series? Probably not. But I thought that night it was like, okay, I really like what I saw in overtime. So as much as Missoula gets a lot of heat, I actually think he's grown a lot this year. Because I think he realizes how different his roster is, some of the weapons that he has. Like, I think Porzingis, I've said this all year, that guy, I love watching him. I think he's such a weapon. I think he's such an X factor for them. He could do so many different things. He is a unicorn. He's unbelievable. So I think if you can get him the ball a little bit more, like they did in that overtime play.
In the crunch situations, I think, work it through him.
Totally. Absolutely.
He can see everything.
He can see everything. He's an option if he wants to take the shot, but if he can look over and he sees Jaylen Brown open in the corner. Or I asked this yesterday of my radio partner, Scott. I said, is there anybody of those 5 on the floor that you wouldn't want taking the shot?
Right.
Everybody. I would love if Derek White takes. I have the confidence that thing is going in.
I'd like to give him the opportunity to take it.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be afraid of a wide open
Pritchard. I agree. There's 6. Or Pritchard. Look at the guy. He's going off at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Peyton Pritchard.
Yes.
Do you know he was Pac-10 Player of the Year back-to-back years?
Yes.
We saw him play.
I thought he was only one. I didn't realize twice.
He's
Back to
good.
back, single-handedly crushed URI.
I was just about to bring that up. He was a freshman on that Oregon team that knocked him out. Well, Rhodey was up double digits at halftime. We were talking about, like, wow, Rhodey might be going to the Sweet 16. This is when Dan Hurley, the face of college basketball now, was
that lunatic.
Love Dan Hurley.
He's a lunatic, though.
Love him. He is out of his mind. The guy has always been out of his mind. He is so Jersey. He is so Jersey, it's not even fair. But you know what? What I love about Dan is when you get to know him a little bit, when you cover him in the media, if you're a player, if you're somebody who works with him in the athletic department, he is as genuine as there is. You see it on TV. He's a psychopath on the court. I mean, he's out of his mind. He wears dragon underwear that his wife washes for him all the time, and he's not afraid to tell you about it. But the guy is he's a tremendous coach, and he's a really good dude.
Yeah, that's something else they did. Wow.
Unbelievable.
One of the stats I saw, I think it was like since 2008 or 2009, between men and women's, UConn has had a team reach a Final Four every year.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
Crazy. And I'm happy for Dan in the fact that he knew that he wanted one big job. He said that to us when he was at URI. He said, when I take a job, I'm going to take one big job and I'm going to attack it. And UConn was the perfect scenario for him. In the Northeast, closer to Jersey. So his wife, who runs the family, Andrea, she's happier because it's an hour and a half closer to New Jersey, which is good. Which is why the whole Kentucky thing, when they were putting his name to Kentucky, like, there's no shot. If you know Dan Early, you know that it ain't his decision, it's Andrea's decision. And there's no way in hell that Andrea's going to Lexington to Kentucky. She's not
that's
doing
an
it.
El Zippo
No way.
Chanto, as Ricky would say.
Yes, no way. No way. So,
That was a hell of a game. That team is fun to watch.
Unbelievable.
That was a hell of a game. What do you think of the kid, Edie?
Here we go. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, he's
going to be a terrible pro.
That's the thing.
Not to quote Dan Hurley.
I like him
If
as
Dan
a player.
Hurley came on and said, if he's not a lottery pick and makes like an impact day one of the NBA, something's
that's
wrong.
Danny. Danny will pump up guys. Danny will pump up the game and pump up players, and he should. I like that about Dan. But the draftniks, the scouts, they'll tell you that, he's a good big. He's a good big in college, but there's certain guys that don't translate. Now, do I think Edie could be like, say Edie drops in the draft and he's at like number 30 for the Celtics, and the Celtics say, Do we like Zach Edey over Luke Cornett as our backup big, something like that?
Yeah.
Edey.
Sure. Well, I mean,
why
you still
not?
in the pros, the guy even that size has to have some type of mid-range to 3-point
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah, agreed.
He's got nothing.
These days, yeah, it's
He's an old school post guy.
he's an old school post guy.
That's what he is.
Yeah.
And
You can't teach size. He's 7'4".
but they're all
So
in
was
the
Taco
pros.
Fall. So
Yeah,
was
but Taco Fall's a beanpole. This kid's got some size to him.
Yeah, but he's
His
still
feet
sort of
are
the same
terrible.
sort of thing.
It's
Yeah.
the worst feet ever.
He started out that championship game to play. He played awesome
He did.
early. And that team overall, you got to be honest,
Yeah.
they don't have one other guy that's going to sniff
No.
being in the NBA.
But I'm
I mean,
saying,
UConn probably had. I mean, those guys.
Yeah.
They probably have on that out of their starting five. I would say 4 will be NBA
They're pretty
guys.
good. Yeah, I mean, Castle's going to be the NBA. Klingon is going to go, and that's to your point. You talk about a big going to the
Yes.
pros. Klingon is higher up in the draft.
And he can
Oh
shoot.
yeah, he'll be.
Because he's got a little bit more in his
Game.
bag.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
he's got a little bit, and
His feet work.
his defense needs to improve. Definitely needs to improve. That's something that he really
You
needs
know,
to
he's
improve.
thin. He's going to get a little bigger.
He got torched by Providence's center, Josh Aduro, when they played, and that to me was like, okay, you can see it. Like Klingon, good offensively. He's got some things he's got to improve there, but
Way better athlete than he.
yeah,
Way
he's got
better.
more. He's got more. He can do more. He can move more.
You
With
got to be
that
an athlete
size.
in the NBA.
You do.
You can't be this giant guy.
No, I'm
but I
with
mean,
you.
but a guy from Ohio State years back,
Greg Oden?
yes.
Greg Oden?
All right, so bottom line, you agree Zach Edey sucks.
No, I think if he was drafted in the
Wait a
right.
minute, time out now.
Yes.
This is in my head right now.
Yes.
Are you obligated to be politically correct all the time as a contractual situation?
No. No, I
It's
think.
funny because I always text him shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, say what you think.
I think in the right situation, I think Zach Edey could be good. But I think if you expect him to come in and be Shaquille O'Neal, then he's not going to be good. He's going to be a franchise savior. But like I said, if some team later in the draft says we can make Zach Edey into our backup bench big or something like that. Like I said, like you're the Celtics and you think, hey, can we upgrade from Luke Cornett? Do we think this kid's better? That could work. I think a lot of times with drafts, fit is a huge deal.
Yeah, pros is very special.
Yeah.
No, I agree. He'll be
But
he'll be an NBA guy for a decade.
what I want to know, what if you on the air and you the Red Sox booting the ball around and stuff like that, and you just you get on there, you're like, sorry folks, they're just terrible. Or
I can hint at it. You hear it in my
No,
voice,
you just say
especially with the Red
so
Sox.
what if you just said it?
I do.
Would that be?
When he goes off in the Red Sox, he's a baseball guy.
Oh, yeah.
Are you directed at are you directed
No, I mean,
at not?
if something goes wrong on the air, like when the David Hamilton stuff happened the other night, he goes up and bang. It's not like I was on the air and said like,
Well, it's tough, but he'll be back tomorrow and he'll be okay.
it's like no, he went over the bag. Like what the heck just happened? Like what is going on here? What kind of defense is this? And so I like to write it playfully because I'm like, I like to have fun with it because I think the viewers, the people that are watching, have the same thing. They
the
look
viewers
at
and people that are watching are
Yeah.
emotional.
I know, and they look at it like I do, which I think that
They're not
happens.
going to be as bad as they are.
Yeah, well, and I think I was the other night, especially with that, because I'm like, woof. I think I said
And
the
then
word
sure as
woof.
up, next bit, boom, home run.
Yeah, right.
Lose again.
Yeah, and I think that speaks for itself, But I think a big thing with being on TV and presenting things is, I think being fair is important, and I think presenting it so that the audience can have that emotional reaction is important. Because you can hint at how you feel about it, but I think it's important for the audience to be able to, especially with like sound bites and things like that. Somebody says something in a press conference, you can react to it. We react to it all the time on the news. But I think it's important for viewers to say like, I reacted this way, I reacted that way, and you let them be the judge. I think that's the way it sort of plays out. Yeah.
I tell you, he's
But that was
very good at it.
So while we're on it, we might as well stay there because we tapped into congrats to UConn back to back.
Yeah.
We're going to that whole thing. We might as well stay there. We have to talk about we were talking about the women's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yep.
Right. So we think it's the semifinals,
So I looked it up. It was the final. The final did surpass it by 4 million.
and that was the highest rated women's athletic contest ever.
I don't know if it was women's athletic, but it was definitely highest rated women's college basketball game of all time.
It's got to be at least that.
Yeah.
I think it's beyond that. It's got to be one of the biggest
It's
of
up
all
there.
time.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing though, that's South Carolina.
Gangsters.
Stacked.
Gangsters.
They are really
Well, they went
good.
undefeated. I was like, oh,
Really good.
it's the 10th all-time undefeated women's basketball team.
Could all use
See, that's the thing about, that's the thing, like, my wife get all fired up for the, the tournament and all that stuff. I go, it's a joke. And because, in the beginning, all the favorites win, because the talent's just not there. That much talent.
I think what made the women's game great this year was it wasn't we landed on the top team in the country being undefeated and winning the title, but there were so many teams that competed and had the personalities. UConn was good with Becker's back. Iowa, obviously, with Caitlin Clark. LSU, how much did people want to, LSU with Angel Reese, and how much did people, when Kim Mulkey spoke, people were listening. It was all these teams that one or two plays goes a different way.
The funny thing is the coaches are
Even that UConn Iowa game.
Yeah.
That call was suspect.
Right.
You're not going to blame it at any level because she did a great job on her press conference about it. It's not one play. It's on me. I got to play that.
Yep.
She's awesome.
Paige is great.
Even when she walks around the court, you're like, is she even supposed to be here?
Yeah, right.
And then she just is
I know.
I know.
It's a great coach.
But she's a phenomenal player. But for the NBA, the WNBA, it's a good group coming in.
I'm so interested to see how the Caitlin Clark effect affects the WNBA. Does it bring in more people? I think people are already.
It's up to them.
Yeah.
It's up to the WNBA.
Yeah.
They got to put this girl on a poster and
There's going to be a lot of them that what I'm saying out of this group now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And there will be.
Out of this group that's coming out, like Reese is going.
Yeah.
She's outrageous.
The girl from
Well, the kid
Stanford.
from UConn, she's younger, right?
She is. She'll be back in the year.
Yeah,
She had the injury, right?
She did.
She's a draw.
She's a draw.
Absolutely.
It'll help the game. And I think to your point about the other coaches, when coaches have personalities, especially in the college game, look at how much we still talk about guys who coached in the 80s in men's college basketball. How big their personalities are.
Big East.
Huge. The Big East.
Everybody knew every coach in the Big East.
And now look at how big the Big East is now with all the coaches they have, with Hurley and with Slick Rick back at St. John's, and Cooley's the villain because he left Providence and now he's at Georgetown, and Kim English is the young hot stud in Providence, and all these coaches. I mean, the league is so fun to cover for us because and that draws people in because people want to be attached to coaches, programs, teams, and the women's game. I think they're a really good job.
We got to bring Big Monday.
Big Monday. Yeah.
Did I just age myself? Did you know?
I've heard of it.
I've heard of this.
I have. So this
that used to go
so
on.
who called Big Monday games? Was it Mike Gorman back in the day?
Maybe, but
Because he
bring
used
him
to
up.
call.
He did the Big East games.
He did? Yeah.
Big Monday.
But this was was it? Yeah.
Big Monday was Big East.
Yeah. So it might have been him, which is wild.
They played 2 games that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mike Gorman, who today is his last day
Today's his last
as a Celtic.
Yeah. 43 years.
It was a legend. Fired yesterday, right?
So
Nice guy, must be.
awesome guy.
Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, salt of the earth. You can tell. You can tell when somebody is well respected in their profession, and the way that they treated him this whole season, and the way they treated him today was first class. He deserves that.
Yeah, that's
Oh, this is great. Him and Heinsohn.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, what a player.
automatic.
What a player.
But that was NCAA basketball. I haven't been as into it.
Yeah.
We've talked about this, to your point about going back to the Big East. I say more the coaches was more the players. I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
It's almost as if I had a more of an E kid was a 4-year guy.
Yep.
So you kind of seen that, and it was great they got that far for him. A couple of those other guys, in UConn, played a few years too.
Yep.
So but back in the old days, guys were there. You knew them. They were like NBA superstars. You knew who. I couldn't even tell you who's going to be the top 10 picks in the NBA draft this year because probably half of them were in high school. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's different. The girls was great to see. The women to see that and the connectivity of it, which
Which is an
haven't
opportunity
seen.
for them.
And I kind of tuned out of it a little bit, unless I was betting it.
No, I agree with you.
Unless it was a pool, but I was really, I thought it was great. But did you see Calipari's? Did you see Calipari's intro?
No.
In Arkansas?
He is.
It was. Did you see it?
When you're talking about his roster, I have
No,
no
his
the whole thing. Yeah.
When he introduced it, have you guys seen it?
I
Oh, you guys gotta go see it. It is off the charts hilarious.
So the only thing I thought was weird when they interviewed, or not interviewed, like asked kind of, is it Tiana? Is that his name first name? Tarasi?
Oh, Diana. Yeah.
Diana, yes. So they asked her like, oh, what do you think, Kate, and all this other stuff. It's like, she's about to get a reality check when she comes to the league. Like, not really like welcoming the fact of like these kind of like young stars coming up who are going to bring more viewership. It was more like the young cats are kind of the old guard. It's like, wouldn't you be excited that like you'd be getting more viewership for your league and all this other stuff? It's just like
Competitors.
reality. Like,
She's a competitor.
Yeah.
I get it.
You're 40, retired.
Listen to him. She's a competitor.
I get it.
But there was someone that's probably, so they had a lot of people on women on the side. They did a simulcast. You see, I think it was Sue Bird with
Sue Bird with Diana Taurasi.
Yeah, Sue Bird though was like, she's one of the best players.
Yeah.
But it'll be speaking of watching, I
It's
enjoy
great.
it.
Well, like I said, WNBA has to latch on, to Caitlin Clark and just.
Which they should be smart about.
They're like they are, and I think.
But there's contracts that they should have, like for television and stuff like that they should.
So to your point, there's more games I think that are going to be broadcast on network TV, ESPN, ABC.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. It's huge.
But that Colorado thing, you guys got if you haven't seen it,
NBA
They tell you right now.
the guy, what's his record?
Nick said it yesterday. What's the starting a rookie in the NBA? What do they make?
Oh, I didn't say that.
Low.
I wasn't.
That was
sure.
Scott, right?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that WNBA? It's low. It's like low.
But I was saying, like, she got offered, Caitlin Clark got offered that $5 million deal
Yes.
from Ice Cube to do the Big Three. It's
Yes.
like, dude, they got to figure out a way for her to not only get drafted in WNBA and play, but like be part of that too.
Right.
Because they should want the exposure. It's huge for her. It's huge for the league. It's
So do you only get the NIL while you're in college?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, should just then should just get a regular.
Just
get
sponsorships. Okay. All right. So let's keep this going. Let's go to Bruins.
Okay.
Cover bust.
Wait a minute, time out. Before we go cover bust, do you cover Providence?
We do. Yep.
Besides Brad Joe, which came up and he had an impact when they hurt. Are there any guys down there that we should be interested in?
I mean, I know he's been up a bunch, but I mean, the first time I saw Mason Lori play, I was like, ooh, this kid's got the skills.
He does have skills, but I tell you what, like I was high on him. I was real high with Rick. So you gotta watch this kid, but defensively, he's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I think he's
not a playoff guy right now.
Not yet.
I wouldn't trust him.
No, but I think he's young, and I think he's still got time to grow into his body a little bit professionally.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
But the skill set is like
Offensively, he's a one.
Such a length, with it.
He's a one defenseman. He's a one.
Yeah.
He needs to defensively.
But I think you put him, in the future, a couple of years with his seasoned McAvoy. I think because he won't have to be your one because McAvoy will be your one. He can be your one on a second pairing or be with McAvoy. Like when I first saw him, I was like, yeah, this kid's got it. I've liked Georgie Merkloff when he's been down there. He's not. I don't think he's translated a ton.
So he's been like the leading scorer for the last couple of years.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty skilled. So the translating up is tough. Brazeau, I think, has been perfect for what they wanted him to before he got hurt because he's just got physicality, size, gets in front of the net, like exactly the sort of thing I think they were trying to trade for at the deadline. Because you look at it, you say the guys that they got, Maroon, the goon, and his size and what he adds physically, and then Andrew Pete from Columbus, same thing. It's like he's got that, I don't know, a little bit more of that physicality.
But the thing about him is he's funny. He's like this massive guy with really, really good hands.
Yeah.
But he's not overly physical.
No.
He is physical, but not like...
He's like Hal Gillen.
He had like barely any penalties in the Providence.
Yeah, right.
Which is kind of weird for a big guy.
Right.
Because those big guys get penalties just by accident.
Right.
Because they're bigger. But
yeah. So
he creates space though. You're talking about Zoe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's a space. He does create space. He's not a thumper. No question. He's not a fighter. And but he does create space with good hands.
Really good.
Which is good. Pete has been the guy you called the coach. When a couple of episodes, he played great last night. I don't know how much you watched it.
He's been that solid guy that they got.
Yeah, he's good.
He's gonna be that locker. Jack Kirk, I tell you, that guy can shoot.
Yeah, always good.
He can shoot.
Always good. Yeah, I think they have a lot of veteran guys.
What do you think?
Oh, Cup or bust? No.
No.
Because you know what?
We have round one of busts.
Well, even that though, Rick. Like, think about their draw. Like, if they get
horrible.
If
That's
they get
what they
Tampa,
want to
I know, that's tough.
Terrible.
Yeah.
How they do the NFL, the NHL is outrageous.
Yeah, it stinks.
The Spin Chicklets guys did the whole thing.
Yeah, you said that all.
Yeah, you're not rewarded for like being that higher seed or whatever.
No.
It's tough.
But who they lining up against right now?
It's Tampa.
Tampa, right? That's what they're saying.
That's tough. That's why I say if they lose to Tampa,
That's what I said. That win last night was not good. I mean, it was a great win. Right? It was good.
Yeah, right. But
A, you want Pittsburgh in because you know you beat them.
Yep.
And B, you know you're marching towards Tampa, which who the hell wants to play Vasilevsky?
They don't.
Doesn't
matter how old they get. Yeah, it doesn't
Who
matter.
the hell wants to do that?
The thing is, the Bruins don't play bad against them.
No, they don't. But I'd rather see Tampa.
It's not a physical series.
I'd rather see Tampa play Florida, wouldn't you?
Yeah, right.
In the first round.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's tricky. That's because I think my expectation this year, guys, was like I hope they play well, make the postseason, get into the dance because we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, when Bergeron and Creech were gone.
So the fact that they've played so well this year has actually been pretty encouraging for me. So
It's been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but if you get into the dance, you never know. Like that's the NHL.
I'm with you 100%. We said that since the beginning of when the season started. I thought they'd be way worse.
Yeah, right.
I thought they'd sneak in the playoffs, but it was going to be the key was what they did at the trade deadline.
Right.
Disappointingly, they really did nothing.
Yeah.
Except Pete's really good addition, but I thought if they could bring, I just don't think they have the firepower, but they play as a unit, they play together. Certain guys, Zaka's becoming a real NHL star.
I like
Coyle's getting another level in his game.
It's in like Morgan and He's had a really good year for them. Like that's a guy that just
100%.
sort of picked up for a few $million.
100%.
Really, he's 17 goals. It's my guy.
Very good.
Yeah.
Would you have signed Patrick Kane for $1 million?
Yes. Of course.
For $1 million, yeah, I probably would have. But
Seeing the impact he's made,
yeah, but I mean, they've been pretty good besides that. I mean, they signed Morgan. Like I just brought up Morgan Geeky. They signed him for like $2 million. Look at the impact he's had. I like that they put faith in a guy like Coyle to move up to the top 6 and then produce the way that he has. Because there's always been the perception like, oh, with Bergeron and Krejci, he's the third line center. I don't know if he could be more than the third line center.
Zaka too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What a deal that was.
Yeah.
They traded. Who did they trade in New Jersey? The center that they had, John, whatever it was 2 years ago. I can't remember his name.
Oh, it's not on S. I know. C. He was in Providence a lot.
Yeah.
CCGG somewhere.
Yeah, but they made that 1-for-1 deal for Zaka.
Something.
Unbelievable. Like unbelievable. Like
Yes.
what a move.
I know what
So
you're talking about, yeah.
Sweeney, man,
He hasn't drafted great, but he's
got better.
He's made some moves. He's got a little better than
like Frederick's actually making him look good. That's another guy that stepped forward.
I'm a little down on Frederick.
He's been better though. Better
He's been offensively better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you forgot about he's kind of a tough
The
guy.
bite, yeah.
You forgot about that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He thinks he's a scorer.
It's all going to be what they decide to do with this goalie rotation of fast.
I know.
Yeah, you're right.
I heard about this. Well, last one they say it's going to be a 1-3 game 1-3, not alternating 1, not a straight all, not a straight every other game. Yeah,
That's the wild thing though. Say you get in a series with Tampa and Olmar pitches a shutout the first 2 games.
He's tough.
Yeah, it's like, do you go to swim?
Yeah.
No, he's pitched a shutout the first 2 games. I don't know. It's tough.
you just got to monitor their health. We talked about this, their health, and to make
Yeah.
sure they're 100%, not just going.
it's like going on bagel or Julie the cat.
I think
Mikey Duck's reference.
But
That's a young reference right there.
That's it.
I just
Looking forward to it though.
I think Montgomery-
You'll have to come up when you get a chance on a Sunday. Come to the house, come on the porch.
Oh yeah, I know. That's
Love this
tradition.
grill
It'll
going.
have to be an away game because they'll be at the garden.
I know,
That's
that's been away, dude. It'll be fun.
I think that
Yeah, wait.
Montgomery learned just as much last year being a coach in the playoffs than the players.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
think he's going to be ready.
Yeah.
It's going to be different.
I think a great sign was that what was it, a month ago, he called out the guys for
Yeah.
a bad
Yeah.
practice, whatever,
100%.
bad game in Philly, and they responded.
Yeah.
I think that's a really great sign.
However, I totally agree with you, but I almost feel like they fed that to guys like you and everybody else. They put it on the air.
No, you know what? I would usually say that, but when we actually saw him do it on the ice, there was video of him actually doing that on the ice. That wasn't for show.
No,
They don't do practice stuff for show.
But I think the Bruins grabbed a hold of that and said, get it out to everybody.
No, he just stepped in front of the microphones. That was just a daily press conference. Yeah, that was sometimes
I feel
that.
like your conspiracy theories.
No, I feel like I feel like
Not to say that never happens,
there's
because
coordination there.
that definitely happens at times. There are times when then teams or players or something, they want something out there.
Right.
In this particular case, this was totally genuine because we all saw him do it in practice.
Okay.
It wasn't for show. And they had played so bad in Philly. That game was one of the worst games of the year. That was just bad. And then it carries over to practice.
Right.
So, but there are times, believe me.
But he's trying to throw on a generator.
Yeah, I know.
That's right,
It's on your
keep
rundown.
moving on.
It's on your rundown.
We had to keep the train on track.
Big's conspiracy theory.
Or else we'd be here for 6 hours. You know? My phone will die. Everything.
Yeah.
Patriots.
Yep.
So shall we talk like dynasty first, or shall we talk?
Well, Jay
Well, let's say Jay first. Yeah.
Jay.
How are we doing on beverages?
I'll have one. James, can you mind,
Can I
please?
get more ice, please? If
Yes.
it's not cold, thank you so
Yes.
much.
More ice cream.
Are you
So
good?
would
Do
you
you
like
want
to go?
water or anything?
I'm good. No, thank you.
So I'll leave it to our guest.
You know what it is? He's on the air. He's politically correct. 1,000%.
All right.
He is.
Right? The drinking thing, yes, definitely.
So would you like to do a little bit of dynasty talk first, or a little bit of draft talk
What
first?
would you like to talk about in the dynasty?
JR.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, like I mentioned it earlier, he was in the dynasty.
Cameo appearance in the dynasty.
Did I see that?
Yeah, cameo
Which
appearance.
episode?
The Deflategate episode, when they had the big picture of the press room, and was it Belichick or Brady walking in?
It was Brady.
Brady walking in. Here's Nick in a fucking orange button down, looking through the old lens.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't have any lines or anything.
No, it was just a shot of me in the back. I was above all the other cameras because I was way in the back, and I've never seen the room so packed. That was one of the wildest days of the job.
Oh, yeah.
Because of how it all went
That's so
down.
cool that you got to experience that firsthand.
It was awesome.
Like
Yeah,
you
that was
were your job, and you just happened to get into it at such a great time of when the Patriots was in the middle of being great.
My first year covering the team was 2014. And that was it. And they were a week in between the Super Bowl, and all this stuff comes out about the deflated. I actually have a picture on my phone. I took a picture of the field right before the AFC Championship game with the Colts. And I remember, like, a few days later, I saw it, and I'm like, studying the picture on my phone. I'm like, is there anybody with a bag of balls here? Is there anybody like walking around like taking a pin? I'm like, what's in here? Whatever, because it was such a huge deal. But I'd never seen all the network television news trucks come in with their cameras, whatever. And that Brady press conference, I mean, none of the local reporters that usually act like the Mike Reese and Tommy Curran and those guys, none of them were asking questions in this press conference. It was all network news reporters saying, Tom, what do you have to say to the kids? Are you a cheater, Tom? Like all those, it was unbelievable. It was crazy. And I'll never forget that day. 'Cause I'm in the room, I'm like, this is wild. I mean, we're well past talking about football.
And he just stood up there for what,
And
an hour and just took it all?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then a week and a half later, Malcolm Butler intercepts the ball at the end zone line, and then they win the Super Bowl.
So as a whole, the dynasty.
Yeah.
So obviously it painted Bill in a bad light. But do you think Kraft had anything to do with that? Like he didn't see any of the final cuts. It was just like,
see,
I think it's hard.
For me, it's hard to believe that he didn't when the Rupert Murdoch story about the ring over in Russia appeared in the documentary. I'm like, why is this in here?
Yeah.
Why are we talking? Why do we gloss over Super Bowls 38 and 39 for a story about a Super Bowl ring in Russia? Like, I don't
and like the little tidbits, like with the whole like Spygate, and it's like I called Bill a schmuck. What? What do you mean? You just passing him in the hallway and called him a schmuck?
It did not come off well for Crafts. I think it backfired on him.
Like I've said it, here a few times. Where are his people that obviously viewed this whole thing way before anybody else did?
Yeah.
Saying, by the way, Bobby.
He just kind of wanted it to be what it was, I guess. I don't know. Like, he wanted to get a certain message out there, and to get a certain message out there. So.
What's up, guys? Let's go.
My daughter Meredith and my future son-in-law.
I know.
Congratulations.
No
Mazel. If you want to interview them, they'll tell you all about their wedding plans.
Fantastic.
Episode 51.
Could be, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. The Moriarty's on episode 51.
But it even started like earlier when they were, when they made the decision to like go with Tom, and then Kraft comes on and he's like, I sat down and had a conversation with Drew Bledsoe at the time, and he's like, I'm going to have a conversation with Bill. Drew, you've been out for 4 months. You mean to tell me that 4 months out of all the flights and everything, you and Bill haven't had a conversation on what's going to happen when our $100 million quarterback is ready to come back?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was some sort of conversation that was had. It was probably dramatized.
Which leads me to believe it was like obviously Kraft had to say what was put out there.
I'm telling you, the Murdoch story for me was the one that I was like,
yeah.
Really? Why is this?
Oh, yeah. 100%. Even I thought a little bit was weird was the, which was controversial, was the whole thing about, the national.
yeah, I mean, I think that was a big story at the time. I'm not surprised that made.
Because it was a whole
It was
Kaepernick
huge.
thing.
Yeah, I know, but
it was huge.
But I agree.
Yeah, and I think that I think what's
Go on, James.
disappointing is James here. No, you gotta get everything out here.
But I don't, yeah, but I didn't, the point of the reason why I brought that up was, now since they've talked to the players after the fact, they were kind of pissed.
Yeah,
About how they were
absolutely.
was part of it was that show, because they made that whole show, that whole episode about that, made it look like they
It's split the
did
bottom.
because, yes.
Yeah.
And that all those guys
Yeah.
were bullshit because, Bill was a Trump supporter, as was Brady, by the way, which wasn't talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bottom line, it was a horrible document.
Well, I think what happened was
And then Trump reads the letter that Bill personally wrote to him.
The guys did what they had to do. It didn't have to get.
It has nothing to do with football and the dynasty.
Well, think about
That was never in my eyes as a fan. Contra Deflategate, biggest joke in the history of sports.
Yeah.
Okay. Period. Is that they ended up having that you then had, was that ever in your mind, like that whole thing about them not standing for the national anthem, a controversy in your head? Who would give a fuck?
No, and what I think
But who would?
It's a podcast.
I know. I usually never
Absolutely.
screw, but that aggravated me. Because I'm like, you're a Trump guy, great. You're not a Trump guy, great. I don't care. Let them do what they want as players. It was I couldn't care less. They're professional athletes. They are here to entertain me.
Right.
Well,
I'm not their friends. I don't know them. Tom Brady. I don't care about his life. I don't really care. Win football games. It's like now I gotta watch this garbage. You know what do they do if you go? They buy you a ticket.
They should.
Yeah, they should.
They should.
Should buy me a hot dog or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's like, that's not what it's all about. These guys are entertainers.
Make New England great again.
Let's go. What a game, boy. Season ticket holder.
Let's go.
Those tickets are worth zero.
No, I think about all the things that come into a locker room though during an entire season. That was just one of many.
Yes.
And they zoned in on that, and they zoned in on certain things, and that's why it didn't come off well. It's because they interviewed these guys for hours on end, and they only took however many.
Well,
Think about
that's-
Rodney Harrison. He said he got interviewed for like 5 hours, gave up a day. He was barely in the thing.
Well, Rick had said in a previous podcast, it's like, what about your great defenses you had during that whole thing?
They lost over 38 and 39, and I think that really made a lot of people.
You had Teddy Bruschi, Vince Wilfork, everybody, just nothing.
And if it's okay, so was it
Vince
10 episodes?
Wilfork, I don't think was ever mentioned.
No.
No.
Didn't get interviewed, did he? Wow, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
It's outrageous. I mean, those things,
there's more video footage
Brady
of him
did
in Texans practice wearing overalls with no drawers under them than there is in the United States.
Right.
He was the bridge between, he won one in 2004 and won one in 2014.
Yes.
He was the bridge between the two.
Yes.
Which is wild. No, I think when you gloss over, like, it was 10
All of
episodes. 10 episodes of this documentary.
Yeah.
Are we going to be upset if it was 12 episodes or get bored with it? If they take 2 episodes and one's on 38 and one's on 39?
Absolutely not.
No, so then why didn't you do it?
Because they had an agenda.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think so, and I think that was pretty, I think it was pretty clear the way it came off.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm glad to see that the players have come out and supported Belichick, and I think people that have watched it were fans, because it's so. A few months ago, we were talking about how it was necessary to make a change in the head coaching spot, but now this has caused people to quickly pivot and say, wait a second, let's appreciate what this guy did for 24 seasons. He brought us 6 seasons.
Well, that's the thing.
It took everybody.
Where they had an agenda with this documentary, which was in the can.
Yeah,
It
right.
was in the can, by the way, well before the end of the season.
Yeah.
So they knew that they were going to fire him
Yeah.
well before the end of the season.
Yep.
Why not make it a tribute to Bill Belichick at the end instead of making it this mystery?
Well, but you left in Tom Brady's little 2-minute thing where it's like, I appreciate Bill, he was awesome and everything. But you leave that.
Well, my point, no, I'm talking about like in the season this year. They knew they were going to move on from Bill Belichick. They should have celebrated him more.
He wouldn't have liked that. No. Bill wouldn't have liked that. Bill doesn't like that kind of attention. Like we were thinking about that like the week leading up to that last game against the Jets. You know, will the fans like stand up, give him a standing O, something like that? Or will the stadium acknowledge him? Maybe put like the camera shot on him on the big screen, and maybe people will stand up and clap. They didn't do it because and like Bill probably said, "Don't you dare." Because knowing Bill, that's who he is. He wouldn't want that kind of attention because that's Bill Belichick. Always so.
That was immediate. Right? Now, I've been there 3 times.
Yeah.
And I think Frankie's got a thing. Not saying he's not a great coach, and you know that. And I know behind the scenes, probably a different character.
Yeah, he is.
But he's very that's what you hear.
Yeah.
But very standoffish, even because I had, in my profession, his kids were in that league and all that stuff. And but what's your take on it? Like, is he? I know he just got way over his skis in arrogance. That's obvious with the press. And thought he could do whatever he wanted, right? That's why, like Jimmy Wilder said, he wants to go find him and put a dance on him. Down. But do you have any like insight on that?
What, just how he treated?
Well, just in general, like as a person, besides how we see it, as your typical fan, the pressers, and you just lose your mind and go, "What a jerk,"
But it's the same thing. He was winning football games.
Well, I know that's
all this
all
kind of
he
gets forgotten about it. If he stunk and did that, it'd be a bigger issue.
Of course. Well, that's how I agree. But that's what happened. Exactly.
Right.
So, yeah, but I'm just saying, we always were kind of aggravated by it. I mean, a stupid question. But in general, do you have any insiders? Is the man is any personal contact?
What the players will always tell you is that Bill was a warmer and actually much funnier guy around the players at times, which is really fun. We did a Super Bowl meeting.
Well, no, I mean, in the Dynasty when they talk about Castle, because I think that's your first win since 8th grade or something like that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
He is warmer behind the scenes, definitely, just from what all players have said. When it comes to like the media and the way that he handled those things, like it was. Anybody want anything?
I'm just checking in. Say
right now.
Nice, man. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate you. When it comes to the way that he treated things, I think there were times where it was a little too much. Like Bill, if Mac Jones has a high ankle sprain, you can say that he has a high ankle sprain. It's okay. Instead of going through this whole press conference where he said, "What do you think? I'm an orthopedic surgeon, like a doctor." He did that whole spiel when Mac got his ankle sat on against the Ravens 2 years ago. But there's times where I get it. Okay, so he's not saying much about the game plan and all that jazz. And then it's funny, you would have days where he would just stonewall any question that he got, good or bad. And then there'd be days where he would warm up, and it was like you were sitting in a football history class.
Talking about specialty.
Unbelievable. And sometimes you're sitting there and you're like, wow, this guy knows a lot. This is unbelievable. Talk about the history of the tight end position. You know, you bring up Mark Bavaro, you bring up what Lawrence Taylor used to do in this situation and all that. And you're like, wow, this guy's lived through the span of football time. It's crazy. So he is a unique individual. He's a great football coach. I never took those things personally, and neither did anybody else, I think, in the media, because he had his style, and like Doug said, when you were winning, it works. When you're losing, it doesn't come off as well. And that's probably why it didn't come off as well the last few years.
So what's the word on the street, you think? Is he still going to try and like coach? You think he'll go into television?
Well, there were TV networks that were definitely talking to him. Whether that happens this
And
year.
Brady in the booth at the same time.
Maybe even like something on ESPN, like get him on with the Mannings at some point, the Manning cast or something like that. Try to loosen him up there.
Mannings are hilarious.
He'd be great. Like when he was on College Game Day for Army Navy, he was great.
Yeah, he was.
really endearing.
Yeah, I was that experience. You got to go also.
He's also good in that thing.
Best game at Gillette Stadium this season. Army Navy, the best football game we saw. Fantastic. It's great.
That's a great thing. But he was also good when he did the documentary thing with House.
Oh yeah, that
was good.
And then did the NFL 100 episode.
Yeah, that was
He was fantastic, and so
I do think that in the Dynasty, in fairness to him though, when they talked about his game planning when they switched the entire defense,
to zone.
which I thought that was a very strong. They didn't end the series on a sour note.
No, definitely not.
Which I thought was good.
Yeah.
Who knows? They might have shot 12. They might have 12 episodes. They might have 15.
Right.
We don't know that.
But there's definitely some guy
my take was
we can't make the best coaches ever live.
Yes.
We can't make him look like a jerk.
Yes. I mean,
we gotta bring him,
no doubt, because we don't know how many episodes they really made.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that with the heat, with the pressure was getting on the craft, this was getting really spun.
Yeah.
Brady v. Belichick.
Yeah.
I think that's my take. Talk about conspiracies, but they definitely that went in at the end. That I think did a good job of portraying what a coach he was.
Absolutely. And I think the players have come out very strong after
Very
that.
strong.
And it's
Yeah.
good to see.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
good to see.
It is.
It's great.
So I'm gonna
Leading
make-
into that,
I want to make sure I leave
Sorry.
enough time for a little.
well, we still got to lead into that's what you got to lead into. So what is the state of the
so
Patriots
I
today?
listened to Nick's show yesterday while I was at
Keep
work,
going.
so I know where I know what he
Where I
thinks.
stand on this?
He just does his own thing. He
It's
goes
all right.
rogue.
He's gotta do his
He
thing.
goes rogue at times. So I know what Nick thinks that Patriots are going to do, which I
It's a tiny little ladder.
which I don't know how you're going to react to this. But at number 3
Yeah.
overall, let's see. What do you think the
You want me
Patriots?
to reiterate it? Okay.
Reiterate.
What
I think
do
you'd be shocked by this.
what do I-
Not shocked, but
What do I think they're going to do? They're going to take a quarterback. What do I think they should do? I think they should take a quarterback. I do. And I'm convincing myself because I think it's going to happen. I'm convincing myself that they're going to take him. I think that's going to happen. It's either going to be May or McCarthy.
All right. Well, how does Nick feel about it?
so would you rather have over like the Jaden Daniels or?
Well, if Daniels is sitting there, it means that one of those other guys is gone. And yeah, I would take Daniels. I would absolutely take Daniels.
1,000%.
But what I like about
so you're saying if Washington takes May at 2?
Oh, I would take
because I think it's pretty much a done deal that the Bears are going to take.
I think it's a done deal that the Bears are going to take Williams, and I think it's a done deal that the Commanders are going to take Jaden Daniels. I think so. All the smoke that we've heard.
No, plus they brought in the offensive coordinator. What's his name? From Arizona.
Kingsbury.
Yeah.
With Kingsbury.
I mean,
yeah. So I think it's.
Mobile
The aerosol.
I think it's pretty foregone conclusion. Look, there's things that you can look at on tape with I think both May and McCarthy and say you got to get better at this, you got to get better at that. But give me the guy that's got some elite skills like May with that elite arm talent, and he can throw a ball.
We gotta talk. You gotta get me on the news right now.
Okay. Okay.
Pipe me in. Pipe me in.
Clearly, you don't like May.
I don't like Danny because he played the ACC.
Yeah, I don't
He
think
was
so.
he was a good
Why, you're a
quarterback.
Big Ten fan now?
No.
So? McCarthy
So-
played in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I'm not a McCarthy fan either.
All right, so you get the fourth best quarterback.
Do you know who
the best
he is?
quarterback that's
Who's he feeling?
I'd rather see either Penix or Nick.
Penix.
Because they played in a way better league.
He's got a
and they had
whole
way
conspiracy
better
with
numbers
Penix.
than both guys.
But to Cody's point, there's no way Penix or
No, you don't take him at 3. You trade that
Knicks.
pick.
I know, I'm just saying. There's no way one of those guys is going to throw.
No, you trade that pick.
Oh yeah, I'm all for it. I want the trade.
You don't pick Drake May, who may
He gets the
sit
right
down
deal.
for a year. If you're picking the number 3 guy in the draft, he better be starting day 1. No matter what position it is.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily with quarterback.
Uh-oh.
I don't think so. I don't think not
So
necessarily.
hold on.
I would like him at some point in year 1
What
to
has
start.
Drake May done that makes you think that he is a franchise quarterback? What's he done?
I just think-
He's big, and
What
he
if-
doesn't even run that
What
way.
have any of
He
these
had
guys
400 yards more than I did.
What have any of these guys done to make you think they're going to be a
So,
franchise quarterback?
question.
It's a lottery ticket.
I agree.
So
It's a lottery
are you out on Marvin Harrison
But
Jr.?
I'm not emotional.
No. I love the passion. This is what it's for. I love the passion. I love that because you might be right. I might be right. Who the hell's going to know?
I like my chances.
Yeah,
I like my chances.
good.
He played in the ACC. He didn't even play Florida State this year.
But you can't go by conference.
I don't think you can go.
Look at
We got a bunch of
the
controversies.
best players in
Well,
the quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Tell me what conference they play.
Yeah, Josh Allen played in Wyoming.
Wyoming.
They had a better conference in
What
the
is
ACC.
it?
No, they didn't. What are you talking about?
I don't think so. Yeah, see, he's putting back up his point. But like, that's the thing. We thought when we looked at Mac Jones and they drafted him a few years ago. This is the guy that played at Alabama on the national championship level, and I know the talent he had around him.
Yes.
But total flop. Total.
Well, not his fault. 100%.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. There were reasons.
He
I
never
never
was
look back at it now.
Mac Jones would never have been a Super Bowl quarterback. You'd have to have a free team around him. I feel bad for his
Let me ask you a question.
development. because
Is
he was
Brock Purdy a
poorest.
Super Bowl quarterback?
I don't know, but that team's freak show.
Yeah.
Freak show.
That's
And they
the
spent a
thing.
lot of money
That's
on
the
that.
thing.
Right.
You know,
But that's
you got
the
to build a freak show. Freak
So
show
what's more
defense.
important, the freak show or the
the
guy
best
throwing
running
the
back,
ball?
maybe one of the greatest running backs of all time. Unbelievable receiving core. Great coaches. He still hasn't won a Super Bowl.
But he's there.
He never will. Guaranteed.
Now you say he never will.
He won't. Brock Purdy will not win a Super Bowl.
Okay.
I'll take.
You could have put you could have put 10 other quarterbacks in the NFL on that San Francisco team this year. They would have won the Super Bowl.
What if Mac Jones had been drafted by the Niners instead of Trey Lance? Would he go to the Super Bowl?
I don't know, but they'd be similar.
Trey Lance, he took
Very
number
similar.
Might be.
They took Trey Lance at number 3.
They were thinking about taking Mac Jones.
Oh my God.
Yeah. There was all that talk about that. They traded that pick up. I remember that.
That would have been a Drake May pick.
Maybe. But
So I
I
don't like to bust schools like that stuff because I don't believe it's true. But my only concern with Trey May,
Yeah.
he forces the football a ton.
Yeah.
But he thinks he has to be there. But his physical attributes are
That's
6'4",
why.
230.
That's why.
Forcing the football, that can
He can run a 4.6. He
That's-
runs a 4.6 40. But the track record, just on, it shouldn't matter schools with the track record of UNC quarterbacks being successful.
He's better than Trubisky was.
He's gotta be.
Oh,
I know,
Trubisky.
right?
When they traded up to get Trubisky, I thought that was bust written all over it too.
I mean,
Let me ask you this.
I wish we'd be happy for a whole fucking draft show right now.
Oh, you can do that whole thing.
You traded the 3 pick, right?
Yep.
You traded the 3 pick. All right, so follow me here. Right? I
Yeah.
called in the 98.5. They hung up on me.
Literally called up live. There's a 98.5, and he said his whole spiel.
Oh,
and
he
I'm
didn't
like,
start it. He didn't say, do you know what you're talking to? This
Right.
is
do
big.
you know who this is?
This is big.
Yeah, I know you're right.
This is big. But here's my thing. So here's my. You
This is
gotta
the
follow on.
conspiracy.
So
Following.
Penix, okay?
Yep.
You,
Like him.
You
A
trade the 3rd pick to
Yep.
whatever, right? Now you have you get multiple picks. Obviously, you're gonna get multiple picks for that 3rd pick, right?
Yep.
I don't know about multiple first round, but you're gonna get multiple picks. Which means doesn't matter. Which means that whenever you think you can grab Penix, you can put a package together
I'm absolutely on board with
and
you.
be the next guy. So
I
what Penix gives you as a left-handed quarterback is Onwenu is the right tackle for the Patriots. Serviceable,
Yes.
solid right tackle.
Be a good right tackle, yeah.
That solves your blind side.
Sure.
So now they can move down in the draft in terms of their depth at line.
Yeah.
They can save it till later and grab guys after cuts and all that stuff.
I am absolutely on board with trading down if they want to do that, and they can get
If you get the right deal.
Absolutely.
It's all about the deal.
So, in your professional opinion, what do you think actually happens
Don't you
on
think women tell-
draft day? Do you think they actually pick at 3, or do you think they actually draft down?
And I agree with you. I think they're going to pick a 3. I think they're going to pick Drake May.
Yeah.
But my point is, what my scenario gives you is it lowers risk.
Sure. But the thing with that number 3 pick and drafting up there and drafting a quarterback is, yes, it's a big risk, but it can also be a high reward. Because maybe you're getting the next bust, but maybe you're getting the next Josh Allen. Like, you don't know. And that's the thing. The quarterback does all. It solves all.
I hate the stigma behind this. Like we have like a high draft pick in the first of all New England pick. Trade it down. It's like, so what's the point of having a high dude? It's just to trade it down.
No, because you can pick up.
Because this particular team needs a
lot of talent.
Needs a ton of stuff.
It's not. Yeah.
If it was like they needed
Who's the best quarterback? Who's the best quarterback in football?
Oh,
What pick was it?
10.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it all. I keep telling people on this whole thing. Talk about all you want. It doesn't. It depends on what you're gonna get in your trade haul.
Yeah, right.
If the trade's not worth it to trade down and pick up another,
No, I understand that.
a lower number 1 and a 3, no.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get 2 number 1s in this draft, it's a freaking layup because you're now between having 2 number 1s there and the top pick, and basically have 3 number 1s.
right.
No, how much receiving talent there is.
I'd love to
and
be
the
like
problem-
a fly on the wall. If you think about it, it's like, who's Josh Allen throwing to right now? The 4 of us. You mean to tell me that they're not going to pick up the phone and call Buffalo? Hey, well, you give us for the number 3 picks, you can draft Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison's
The problem is they can't give you much. They're 28, I think, and you.
They don't have any.
They
They
can
don't
give you
have
next
any.
year's one or something like that.
Yeah, but then you're missing out on
Patriots
talent
can't
too.
do that.
Right now.
They
But if
gotta
you're-
make the deal. They need Minnesota to make the
That's the thing. Minnesota, I think, is the team because then you get 11 and 23. You're going to get You're going to get probably one of the top tackles or one of the top receivers. And then at 23, that might be territory where
But if
I
you
like
don't-
Penix a lot.
Yeah, well,
that might be territory.
At 11,
100%.
you don't need that tackle if you're going to be taking minutes.
Yeah. But you get another guy. I mean, you need a left tackle either way. You need a guy on that
You
because
don't need
they.
to spend the number 1 pick at 11 to get it.
But if you have a good offensive line,
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
It's going to depend on how the draft board's going at that point. But at 11,
Yeah, right.
you don't have to decide because you can see your point. I agree with you. Take the best guy on the board. If you get the top left tackle in the draft, get him.
Yeah,
because
no, I agree.
depending how the
I
draft
agree.
board's going,
I agree.
you're going to be able to tell at that point
Joe
if
Allen.
Penix is not going.
Yeah.
Because you're going to know what teams need a quarterback.
It's gonna be
And then
fun.
no one's
It's
taking
all-
Penix in the first round.
This to me
That's why
is
it's
more interesting than the actual season.
Oh, totally.
What did you
Yeah,
get?
because they're going to stink again.
Yeah.
It's going to take 2
I
3
don't,
years.
but I don't think, I think they'll be competitive.
That's why I disagree.
Competitive is good. That's good. Their record will be.
I don't
whatever
think
it
they're
is.
Super Bowl contenders.
I say that because I think it's going to take 2 to 3 years for them to be what you want the Patriots to be.
But don't you think the NFL,
I agree.
in general,
It's like Ricky.
it's not a great product, the NFL. You can go from,
Yes.
not having a good team at all to getting some good draft picks, getting some good free agents, spending a couple dollars. Now you're competitive.
Yeah.
Now you're a playoff contender. I mean, there's like playoff contenders, and then there's
But not necessarily competitive.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
I will tell you one thing for me. If they go to 3rd pick and keep it, and they go J.J. McCarthy, I'm going to lose my mind.
I would.
But
Yeah, because I think it's too high.
But does J.J.
Way
McCarthy
too
start
late.
game 1?
way too much.
Or is it still Jacoby?
It's going to be Jacoby.
So, it's gonna
Just
be-
take a knee.
I think if you like McCarthy, I think that's the perfect guy to say to trade down and get him later in the first round.
100%.
Yeah, that's what.
So
you-
here's my whole thing. You know the guy what I want? I want to get
Listen
two
to this.
quarterbacks.
Listen to this.
Because the guy I want,
Oh, you're
and we'll
on
get
this.
later, is Jordan Travis.
I mean, if you're going to draft in the later rounds, I'm okay with taking.
Take two. Let's say you get Penix in the first. If you trade down,
Great.
get yourself your tackle. Your first pick in the second round, you're still going to get a high-end receiver.
Yes.
I mean, that receiver group is ridiculous.
Yes. Kid from Texas is like floating around there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
real. The kid transferred out of Georgia. Yeah. That's
Sounds
interesting
like
story.
cocky though.
No, but you never know.
Might be
It's-
right.
White slot guy.
I might
What's
be
your
up
reason?
with it. I mean, I saw into this drafting. It's kind of
He's
weird.
got sheets.
It's
Look at this
uncomfortable.
thing.
What do you need?
Oh, I have every guy. It's like
Mel Kiper Jr. right here.
Without the hair.
list is out of control. These guys out the talent.
Long arms, big toes, great feet.
That's it.
I mean, you don't even go like
Four
Xavier
two.
Leggett from
This
South
kid's got
Carolina.
2 months out of the year.
They're like these. It's like
Yeah.
you're gonna get receivers. So you can come out of this with the top offensive tackle, ballpark in the draft. Get yourself a Penix type guy, or even to your point, Bo Nix. I'd live with it late, and then maybe wait till
Don't
the
give me,
second.
don't give me that.
I'm not a big Knicks guy.
I know I'm not either. Really.
I
don't
named
think
5
the
minutes.
offense he ran really translates much to the NFL. He was accurate as heck, yes, I know. The numbers show it, but it's not a huge pro style.
Did he have two interceptions?
Great. Case Keenum had big numbers in college too. I just
So, another
that's
guy-
why I
I'm
like
with you. I'm with you. My
That's why I
point
like
is that
the
if
trades.
you can, my ideal thing,
Yeah.
Penix you can get in the
Yeah.
first round.
I think we all agree that
Get
Michael
the
Penix
tackle.
should be
Go with the
fun.
Penix, but I would
He'd be
then
great.
go
I
get
like
your
him.
top receiver in the second pick, and then you're gonna sit there and wait and get Jordan Travis in the third or fourth round. He would have been a first round pick,
Yeah.
no question.
Yep.
Until he got hurt.
So let me ask you this: do you wish the Patriots were more active in free agency? Just
Yeah.
because I feel like they've done nothing. And then when you see what these players have gone for, it's just like
Here's
like didn't Stephon Diggs go for like a second round pick? It's like you couldn't have been at the table.
Yeah, but Blake was not going to trade with them.
they were good trade.
So that's another question. Like, do you think teams just aren't trading with the Patriots just out of spite?
Well, no, they're in the same league. They're in the same division. They're not trading.
I don't think so. No, I mean the trade thing. That's one guy that got traded receiver. What's like? Do I think they could have gotten in on like a Jerry Jeudy? Probably, but do they want a guy like that in their locker room? That was a loose cannon last year. You know, he was a loose cannon. So I don't know. The free agency thing, though, Doug, I don't knock them because every other team, free agency was a bust because the salary cap went up $30 million.
Well, it's just
So
like
everybody could keep their guys that were on the docket. Like the best receivers that were supposed to be out there, Mike Evans, guys like that.
Oh, I gotcha.
Didn't. And so, do you want to just spend money to spend money? Like I'm totally okay with them not spending $20-something million on Calvin Ridley because I don't believe Calvin Ridley is a number one
I agree with you.
it guy. I just
I
don't think.
No, I get that, but I think
I
so
think
you,
it would've been
like,
probably
you didn't even hear the Patriots like name being thrown out there. Like, oh, hey, it's between
No,
these 4
they
teams.
should've went
It's just
up
they
with
just
you.
stood fast over in the corner and
They-
did
they
nothing.
should-
Even after Gerard Mario said all this other bullshit, like, but you got KJ Osborne, big fucking whoop.
But they honestly, well, next year, I think I'm actually glad that they hopefully have some money left over for next year's offseason. And you want to talk about the receiver class and next year's free agency? There's a lot of big names out there. A lot of big names are going to hit free agency, and that's why I'm like, all right, maybe they're waiting for that. But at the same time, not a lot of big name guys hit the market because every other team has $30 million more cap space.
I was
That
so
never
big
happens.
on wanting to get. I wanted to go get Baker Mayfield, and then he won. Took him to fucking far, and I was like, fuck, he's not
He's not
on
leaving.
the side. He's not
But I
leaving.
would have been guys they could have wanted Smith from the tackle from Dallas. That was a deal you go after. The tackle from the Bengals.
Yeah.
Those are deals I would have went after.
Yeah.
They didn't cost you much.
Yeah.
You could have sweetened it even if people didn't want to come to Foxborough, whatever. But there were deals there. I agree with Doug. I don't think they did anything. And so basically, at the end of the
They
day,
talked a big game and just did nothing.
the end of the day, all they've done is rip Bill.
Yeah.
And they basically brought back
Like all the
almost
guys that
everything
took
back,
2020.
and took somebody signed everybody. They said we're gonna do everything, But fine, I don't want Doug. I mean, Doug's contract's fine.
Yeah.
But to me, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, right
It's
now
not
it
good
seems
enough.
it
It's
seems
not
like there's just no
endorsing.
sense of direction. Like you have no idea what the hell they're thinking in Foxborough.
I mean,
like are they gonna take are they gonna take Drake May? Are they gonna take Marvin Harrison? Are they gonna trade down?
They have-
It's just
They have a plan.
you
We just
don't
know
tell
what
you.
it is yet. We'll
But
find out.
But even with their signings, like you should kind of see the right. Oh, they took this. Okay, maybe they're gonna. It's just like whatever. We'll see what happens on draft
Well,
day.
we don't know because they haven't made that. I mean, we don't know what they're going to do draft wise. They have a plan. I'm sure they have
But
a
you're
plan
not
A, a plan
inside
B, whatever.
club, Nick.
But if I knew that, then there'd be a problem. That means they have bad leaks.
That's
That's
right.
what you do.
It's so see, because I think this is gonna really shape what I think their organization's gonna be or not be in this draft. And you gotta realize too, which Mayo did bring this up, and I agree with 100%. Picking up guys, still, getting guys still beyond the draft is still in its infancy right now. Guys get released. Guys get released. You pick up. There's guys out there. How it works, and it's going to be interesting. I am just fascinated to see what this whole. I can't really get my mind around everything, what I think this organization will look like until we get through this draft.
Yes,
But doesn't-
absolutely.
11 days till draft day.
Wolf's contract end in May.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
But he may be elevated. They may sign, re-sign him.
But why?
It's so
why?
weird.
No, but why is
It's
that
so-
hanging out?
Like, why do they picture
They-
so
you
different
can
from
evaluate
everybody
that.
else? Like, they
Yeah,
are smarter
I mean,
than every single person.
The evaluation of, the draft starts, it's a year-long cycle, basically.
So
So,
you can't evaluate that right now. So why not either commit to him or let him go and get somebody else involved with the draft?
I think they are committed to him. They just haven't really said it between
That's-
Yeah, if they move on from him, you're like, really? You're going to let this guy make it? But at the same time, that transition happened in the mid-90s, too, when Pete Carroll got hired as the coach, like those, and when they made the transition in 2000, Belichick, like that regime, those people who were in that front office made those picks in whatever 2000, and then they transitioned. Yeah, because of all the scouting they do over months. Instead of firing whatever staff is on and just have them do 2 months of scouting, they stick with the 8 months they've gone through, and then they decide on what they did. But I think they've elevated Elliott Wolf and empowered him, and I think they're probably going to stick with that.
You're not going to hear this information on the Sports Hub. Tell you that for sure.
I love the passion, though. I love the passion. This is what it's all about, honestly. And I don't know if I'm going to be right. I don't know if you're going to be right. Who knows?
Who cares? But it's a fun conversation.
It's a great conversation.
It's a fun conversation amongst friends.
Amen.
But we're up against it, though. We're gonna have to push forward.
Good podcast.
Podcast gold, as Coach likes to say.
Amen.
All right, so let's push forward. Entertainment. Ricky, entertainment. Coach, entertainment.
No, how long have we been going?
We're going a while, but we're about right. So I finally ate at Dylan's local.
Yes,
Good for you.
On Wednesday, I had the Southwest salad with the.
Did you use that gift certificate?
No, he ate a blue light special. He was here like 3:30.
4:30.
Was Greenless there? Greenless was right there. That's what it is there.
4:30, but I'm also up and on the road at between 3:30 and 4 a.m.
James.
James, your timing is
One of the greatest.
My dad. I mean, the fact that he married a woman named Jane, was a Jetsons fan, like.
Absolutely.
Wow.
But it was fantastic. Have you guys sat at the back bar?
Yeah.
Any good?
Back bar?
I heard there's a back. Is there a back room? Is there a bar or is it?
Well, it's funny. I was in there last night with Patty. We got seated in the back room. And I liked it because, I'm not a big, obviously I'm big. So I don't like.
Well, you like the romance.
Yeah, I was kind of there.
Yeah.
I was in there. Well,
I know.
Now we can just talk. No, it's smooth.
Now we can just talk.
No, I wasn't smooth.
Said Coach never.
No.
There's no team in here.
I sat across from my wife. I've been married for almost 30 years.
Yeah, that's great.
I sat across from her and I was like,
LPP, fantastic one.
I go, this is awesome. I go, we can talk about blah, blah, blah. She goes, yeah, it's kind of like in the hockey game on the TV. I wish we got a spot at the bar.
Yeah.
She said it. Like,
So is there no TV in the back?
Huh?
Is there no TV in the back?
No.
Oh, that's a full lot.
No TV. I mean, the room's as big as the atmosphere.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
It's small.
So does she have a good group of, it's designed more for overflow, and if you have like 8 to 10, like your brother, like April's brother, take that, do it there.
Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been
yourself.
good. Yeah, that would have been good.
It's a great spot for something like that.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there Friday night. When I sat in my prime 2 seats, I was there.
I know.
Colin sets him
Yeah, I know, Dylan's was good.
That's great.
The parking situation.
How'd you like the onion soup though?
It was good. I wish it was a little bit bigger.
Yeah, a little bigger.
Yeah.
You're a big guy.
Well, so do you.
I did have a salad.
The big salad. I was
The
gonna
big
say.
salad.
Yeah, there you go.
I had the Southwest
Big
salad.
salad. Now, who served you the big salad is the question.
I don't know the guy's name.
Got the beard?
Yeah.
George
O.T.
Costanza.
Good guy.
I'm not going to get to my
Don't get me
team
going.
until we get Coity to do his thing with.
So don't even get me going, because like every Saturday, all my texts, I'll have like 12 texts firing off today.
Yeah, he's like a crazy
Seinfeld
ex-girlfriend who's watching the
references,
show.
everything to this fucking guy.
Crazy ex-girlfriend.
Alright, we've been best friends for
Long time.
It's gotta be 18 years now, or something like that.
Yeah, we're older than that, Doug. We're in the 20s.
Wrap it up. You want to get into? You ready for the chemo?
Cap's here?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Tell me.
Well,
Hey,
talk
listen,
to-
look, time out. Real quick. So, back to the Patriots for 1 second.
Yeah.
Season ticket holder, Moriarty. You said this year, last game, for the first time, you've been there forever. What was the song they played?
Roll with the Changes by
Roll
REO
with-
Speed.
Roll with the changes. Yeah.
Never heard it in 25 years.
Yeah.
And they stopped playing
The
Roll with the
last game of
Changes.
the year.
Yes.
Last game of the year.
Well, that's what fans, I think, have to do. Roll with the
I
changes.
thought that was kind of like, we were
Yeah.
telling you guys,
Go
that's
for
what
it.
I'm listening to it, I'm like, never ever played this here.
They're good. They're good about that stuff.
But
But like our friends at Fenway, when
That
they
was
make a
before-
defensive error, the other team takes the lead in the middle of the 8th inning, and sweet cat. All right. We
Don't
don't
get me
that.
started.
Fever
Oh,
pitch
boy.
coming in
You
hot.
heard me talking about that. I
Oh,
can't
boy.
take it.
I know.
But,
Lower it.
all right, so let's go. We gotta move on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ricky might catch 7th, 8th, and 9th inning.
what?
Oh,
They
yeah.
play at 11 a.m. tomorrow.
I'm going. I'm taking my boys.
Good.
11:10 a.m. the first pitch.
Great tradition.
Brutal.
Great tradition.
Anyway,
I don't know why I'm going over there.
entertainment, we want to know about the great restaurants.
I thought we were doing two.
Oh,
You gonna
yeah.
do top 3 golfers or no? Let's do that first.
Yeah,
First? Before the entertainment?
Yeah, do the top 3 golfers.
All right, in honor of the Masters.
Why don't you have one of these restaurants in the province?
All right, we can do that.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a better end with the drawing and stuff. But we'll
I
go
have no
with
idea
it.
what he's going to do.
There's
There's no Ricky.
There's probably 4 people in
Ricky.
the world that care about you.
Exactly. Oh, here we go. Anyway,
He's anti-golf. He'll play it, won't watch it.
I love watching it. I'm
All right,
not
so
trying
wait a
to look.
minute. Wait, time
People
out.
watch this all weekend glued in, right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's the Masters. I didn't know.
Shot us up like 8 strokes. It's like, really?
Start moving away, though.
I don't know.
Back 9.
That's
All right, so here we go.
Okay. Top 3.
Top 3 golfers. So we go round robin.
Golfers of all
Minus,
time.
minus Tiger Woods.
Right. So you
Minus-
go
No, we
first.
didn't say Tiger. Minus Tiger.
You said Tiger, but anyway.
Say, everybody's going to.
But
It's
you're
a right-hand uncontested layup. You can say it.
Yeah.
going to go first. You're going to say your first one, then it's going to go to Rick.
Okay.
Okay.
So you want me to go first?
No, it's going to be you.
Well, why don't you start?
You always
Go
start.
for it. You start.
It goes you, Rick, and then me.
I was trying to
And then normal.
Starting the next again?
No. I'm saying our guest will go first,
Okay.
then you, then Rick, then me.
It's like I'd say, so do we do it on 3 or do
I
we
do
do 1,
one,
2, 3,
go.
then go?
And then
Yeah,
go.
Okay.
And then
All right. So I'm gonna take Tiger Woods out because just Tiger is an automatic whatever. So I'm gonna go 3 other than Tiger.
Okay.
Because Tiger is the most influential golfer of my lifetime, and you know all that. First one I'm gonna say, I like Freddie Couples. I'm gonna go with Freddie Couples.
I love Freddie.
Solid guy.
Yeah.
Freddie,
a guy that we all enjoyed.
What's up, Bob? What's up?
Good
to see you, bud.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's going to go.
Yeah, Freddie Couples, just a gentleman.
Freddie Couples.
I think well liked.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'll go Freddie Couples to be my first one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. So I'm sort of a golf nerd.
Yeah.
Like I watch. I know golfers from the 50s all the way till now.
Love it.
I love golf. So my, I'm gonna say favorites, like my top favorite, one of my favorites.
It is your personal favorite, not necessarily like.
Yeah.
The best. Yeah.
Yes. No, I got you.
Personal
Yep.
favorites.
Okay. Absolutely.
Lee Trevino.
Love it. Ooh. Love that.
Lee
Made a
Trevino.
cameo in Happy Gilmore.
Grizzly Adams did have a
Yes. Just. I don't think he said a word.
No, he said Grizzly Adams did.
Oh,
have
he
a
did say it?
That's
Okay.
actually Trevino.
Okay.
Yes.
Lee Trevino is like, talk about ambassador of golf.
Yep.
I feel like if he walked in right here right now, he would sit down and he would talk golf with us.
Absolutely.
Like we've been friends forever.
Absolutely.
That's Lee Trevino.
Love that.
Dude, did you watch Full Swing?
Yes. Great.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
All right, Rick, what do you got? He's
Rick, what do you got?
Look up golf.
No, I was doing
He's
something.
gonna go Michelle Week.
Michelle Week.
Paige
Monica Swords.
Paige Sporadic.
Natalie Gillis.
Let's see. Well, you gotta use it, the greatest of all time, Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer.
Okay.
I don't know about greatest of all time, but I got a good story about him.
Really? Who's
Yes.
better? Oh,
He makes a great
I know
drink.
you're the same.
Wow. But anyway,
F-I-S-T, half lemonade, what do you need?
Arnold Palmer. So I got a story about Arnold Palmer. My uncle was a pilot, and he flew in Vietnam War, and he taught aeronautical stuff at University of Texas, and then he was at Florida. He later in his career taught very rich people how to fly their jets, and Arnold Palmer was one of the people.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
He taught Arnold Palmer.
Guys have different passions. Yeah. That's cool.
Hey, Doug.
Doug, what do you got?
I'm going world number one, Scotty Scheffler.
Alright.
I think every tournament, I think he's the, every tournament that he enters, it's his to lose.
Yep.
He's a dude.
He's just so good. He's never really shows any emotion. Like he always rises to the occasion. He's always in it.
You were young. This is Tiger. Tiger did this.
But I didn't want to come out and say he's the modern day Tiger because that's like
he is. This was Tiger back when Tiger's height. He would not lose.
He's just so good.
He is. So was Tiger.
He hasn't shot a round in I think it was a tournament over par since August, I think.
No, but he did one. He did one this weekend.
One.
Was the first
that was
one.
the first one.
First one.
I think it was Friday when there was like
That is crazy.
25-mile-an-hour gusts.
That's insane. That's insane. That's crazy. All right, number 2 for me. A guy that I just like the way that he's very unconventional, but a guy that he just made it work on the course. I like that. Jim Furyk.
Ooh,
Jim Furyk.
okay.
Very unconventional, but like I said, just made it work somehow. Professional somehow.
Well, they called him an ATM.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time.
Every week he cashed.
Just solid and steady. Solid
Every
and steady.
week,
Even with that, I mean, it wasn't the most beautiful swing of all time, but got it done. So Jim Furyk. Right? Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Tin Cup.
Tin Cup.
Oh hell, Ron, put it in.
Oh my God.
Out of turn.
Tin Cup.
Out of turn, he comes up with
Great movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Great movie.
That's great. Oh boy.
This is not Ricky's.
I know.
Oh, that was a fun one.
It's like a ballywick.
I'm trying to get people to still watch.
Yeah.
Alright, so
That's the greatest 13 ever, Roy.
Oh,
no one's gonna
Somebody tell the city he doesn't have to hit from there. Great
What a
movie.
movie.
the next guy I'm going to say is a little controversial, but I like him, I respect him, I think he's in every aspect of his life, I think he's very good, is Greg Norman. Because not only was he an awesome golfer, but
I think I have a couple of his shirts.
what he took from his golf game and created between the wine and all the other businesses.
Yeah.
The guy's a billionaire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know he's controversial with his live thing, but what he did with golf, with his life, it's like he's like Bezos, for golf.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Dougie.
I'm going with another controversial golfer, but controversial as of late. But I always loved him. Phil Mickelson.
I think so.
The lefty.
Always
The
appreciated. Lefty. Yeah.
Unbelievable philosophy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huge
controversy,
gambling
things
problem.
like
There
that.
was a
Absolutely.
a thing that came out. Huge gambling problem. He had like his golf cart that had like 6 monitors in it
Yeah.
to like track all of his bets that he was doing.
Yep.
Big gambling, but like just love Phil.
All right, I'll go modern for my third one.
Yeah.
I like the kid. I like his attitude. He has his hot and cold stretches, but he's won a couple big tournaments. I just like the kid. I would want to play golf with this guy, and I feel like it would be a fun round. Justin Thomas. Justin Thomas would be my guy. I would appreciate playing around with him.
Okay.
So it probably means I'm playing with Spieth, and I think Spieth would be interesting too. But Justin Thomas, I just like the way that he approaches things. Like I said, he can be hot and cold, but Justin Thomas.
All right. Well, I'm going to do this one just because he designed the one
Go
for
down
his
Happy
course.
Gilmore.
Listen to this.
Gary Player.
Gary Player.
Oh,
Very
yes.
So he designed, when I was at White Cliffs, we had a lot of fun playing there.
I did not know he designed that.
He designed White Cliffs?
Yep.
No shit.
Gary plays awesome. He's like 88 years old.
Yeah.
He was on the other day after he hit the shot.
Yeah.
And he said he's broken his age in golf because I've broken 1,000 times.
Yeah, he's right in downstairs. You've been down there, right by the fitness room and stuff downstairs.
I've only played the course once.
You only played it once?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's change that.
Well, not anymore.
Oh, not anymore.
Coach was gonna break up with me. Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Already broke up
So let
with
me ask
me.
you this.
And all these guys say, "Oh, you like White Cliffs? Oh, we can run a tab at the club."
Oh, yeah.
So let me ask you this. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know. But once, unfortunately, as time passes, obviously, once Gary Player passes and everything, are they gonna reintroduce honorary starters, or are they just gonna kind of let it?
All right, so Doug,
He's
showing
got
their age,
some-
showing their age a little bit. They used to have Gene Sarensen and who's the guy that won all he had the record for the most wins?
Jack Nicholson.
No,
He's there. Nicholas. Yeah.
Sam Snead.
Yeah, thanks.
Sam Snead. Yeah, they all used to do
They
it.
all used to do it. And some of these guys will age up. So.
How about this guy? He looks like VJ Singh. Another classic.
VJ was good. VJ was playing this weekend. 61. He's still
Is
out
that
there.
him?
Out there.
It's 61 he did that.
It's awesome. Wow.
All right, so my last golf is a guy that caught lightning in a bottle twice and has made an unbelievable career out of it. Played the most talent of anybody, but never worked at it. You know what I'm saying? John Daly.
John Daly.
John Daly
Talk about a fan favorite.
won 2 majors in his lifetime.
Yeah.
He created a lifestyle,
Good for him.
John Daly lifestyle, that
Absolutely.
people buy into.
Oh yeah.
You ever see him recently?
He's like Jimmy Buffett for golf. It's like
He is.
that's
Exactly what he is.
Yeah,
I
right.
think it's funny that him and
Isn't his kid a pretty good player?
Yeah,
his kid plays at Arkansas. I think him and Charlie Woods go.
Charlie Woods
at
is
it.
John Woods. Charlie Woods is so nice.
Is he?
Yeah, he's good.
He just won a state
He's
championship.
like 15
Actually.
years old.
Everybody's turned off the
So you wrap it up, kid.
Wrap it up.
Who do I like? And this is just going to be a personal favorite. It's not going to be a fan favorite. Sahith Thagala.
Oh, Jesus.
Look at the lovely Lisa made it.
The lovely. Was it raining out there?
It's pouring here.
It's pouring.
Oh,
All right, whatever. Podcast gold.
All right, so let's
Thank you
real
so
quick.
much.
Wrap it up. Give us, in addition to top 3, give us your top 3 restaurants in
Top 3. Wow. Well, 2 of them are going to be Irish bars because I just love them.
Ooh.
One of them I was at last night, McBride's. It's on the east side, Wayland Square. Great spot. Actually, there's a place that it used to be a funeral parlor. Yeah, it used to be a funeral parlor.
Is that a cost?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
Is it not far from
Yeah.
Another 20-minute anecdote.
I can't bring it up.
No.
Like a
You were thinking the other one, which is Murphy's.
Yes.
Murphy's is
Yes.
love
Yes.
Murphy's. Yeah, so that's on my list too. Those 2 are great.
Okay.
And then I guess I'll give you a top 4 because I love on Federal Hill, Andino's and Casarino's.
Okay.
Yes.
But anything that ends in an O on Federal Hill, you're not going wrong.
So real
It's
quick,
like they're all-
just to take it back to 3 weeks ago, we did top 3 bars in Boston. Give me your best bar in Boston from going to school in Boston.
In Boston?
Yes.
See, that's tough now because all the bars closed.
For COVID,
All
yes.
the places went.
So when you were in college, your favorite bar, regardless if it's closed or not?
Oh, I mean, Sweetwater Tavern was our spot.
Oh, okay.
But RIP, they changed it over. Emerson bought it, and it's
Okay.
something different. Sweetwater Tavern was our
We used to
spot.
go to Sissy K's, remember that?
Poorhouse was awesome.
Sissy
on Boylston.
K's is famous.
Sissy K's was good.
That's it.
Yeah, there was a
Mention
bunch of great
Sissy K's
places.
a couple times.
Bunch of great places. But Poorhouse, too, was great.
Closed.
Yeah, that's close.
Dad's is closed.
Yeah, it's tough.
Whiskeys.
It's a lot. Whiskeys. I know.
Oh.
I know.
All right, so episode 49.
Though I will say, Rhode Island joints. Lovely Lisa and I were at 2 of the greats in Bristol. Thames. I've never been there. Right in the water.
I know where it is.
That's in
I've been
Bristol
there.
Harbor
Yeah.
Inn.
Yeah.
In Eaton's.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can't go wrong. Let's go in the water.
So I want to thank Nick Coit for
Nick,
coming
yes.
here.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming.
I flashed
There you go, man. Glasgow
I promise
water.
I'll have something to drink after this.
Episode 49 in the books. Nick Coit, you're gonna enjoy it. This was definitely a good time. We
Yeah,
killed it.
I could have talked to you for 4 more hours.
Gold.
Podcast gold.
Thanks, Nick, and congrats
Hey,
on
hey,
everything. Good luck with the
Thank you,
career
Nick, so much
continues
for
to
coming
grow.
out.
Yeah, wait, time out. If you ever want a guest on your radio show and say anyone, I'm very good.
I've asked him so many times.
Call in.
I don't want to call it. I want to be
Call
there.
in with a personality. You gotta have a name.
Oh,
Surname. Yeah, there you go.
Close to
You'll find something.
I'm big from big and small.
Victor from Fall River. Colin is Victor from Fall River.
No, I can't. That one's taken. That one's taken.